Hey guys, I'm Chris Allen, CEO and co-founder of Red5. Here with Paul Gregoire and Giovanni Marzot to talk about MOQ. It's probably one of the hottest topics in the video streaming world, and these guys have been actively working on it with us. I don't know if you guys want to quickly introduce yourselves, what you do at Red5, and we can go from there.
Sure. My name's Giovanni Marzot. I'm fairly new to Red5, but I've been in the streaming media world for quite a while. I was at an ECDN company, and prior to that, Vivo. And delivering low latency video with high quality is a problem that I'm familiar with. So I'm happy to be here at Red5.
No, I'm Paul Gregoire. I'm the Solutions Architect, Senior Engineer at Red5. I'm the Red5 open source maintainer for a couple decades now at this point, and I've been in streaming media for even longer. So that's me.
Yeah, and you were one of the early additions to the open source Red5 project too. And so, yeah, Paul and I have been working together for a very, very long time. Back before we had any gray in our beards, so.
True.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I got started with this too. Like a group of guys and me, we basically reverse engineered the RTMP protocol that Flash was using back in the day and created the first Red5 implementation. So, and that was all Flash days. Fast forward many years into the future, we went with kind of a proprietary model and built the Red5 Pro product with WebRTC. And now, it seems like we're at a next inflection point, right? This is WebRTC for streaming is looking like it might get replaced with MOQ. I'm curious what you guys' thought is on this. It's a super hot topic, obviously, in the streaming industry. Why do you think that is, and why is now the time for MOQ? Yeah, go for it, Giovanni. Let's hear your thoughts on this.
Well, I was exposed to MOQ a little over 2 years ago, and I was lucky enough to attend an interim. And at that time, it was still new. But the reason I think now is the time is all the ingredient protocols are maturing, all the things that it's built on, the advent of QUIC, the maturation of WebTransport, which isn't a full standard yet, but is slated to be very soon. And people have been using these parts for a while individually, but now they're more mature and can be used together. And
absolutely. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I would go along with what he's saying. I think now is the time. I mean, it shows it if you just search for MOQ. If you Google it, you'll see all the articles and everything like that.
And hopefully one of ours shoots up to the top too.
Yeah, one or two of ours for sure. Yeah, or our commentaries will appear for sure. Yeah. I don't think it will replace WebRTC because there's still a space for P2P and conferencing between people. I think MOQ can fill in, and I think it's more of a target for CDN type deployments, just because WebRTC really can't do that. You have to do other things to get HLS out of WebRTC or CMAF and stuff like that. Takes some hoops to jump through. But
and even to distribute WebRTC at scale is a totally different architecture than what CDNs are used to today, right? So right. I think the concept of them just flipping on the QUIC protocol, basically HTTP3, right? That just allows them to kind of use a pretty similar architecture to what they're used to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they should be very familiar with the layouts and the transports and stuff like that. The downside I see is that most of these are all drafts, and it's moving rapidly. You could get a new draft every month with some significant changes between 3 or 4 drafts. So it's moving rapidly. There's more people coming into the space from
Yeah.
various different companies. So there's a lot of activity going on right now.
Definitely a lot of endorsement from very big companies, Meta, Cisco, Google, Microsoft. You see
Akamai.
Akamai, Cloudflare. You see a lot
Yeah.
of these very big
Oracle's
players.
on the open MOQ project with us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like everybody's coming together at once now.
Mhm.
I think that the
Yeah, I
quick.
mean,
Oh, sorry. I was going to say I think the quick angle is very compelling. That a lot of things are riding on the perceived benefit of quick as a lower level transport, and it's really a first class citizen in the network now. That may not have been the case
yeah,
for WebRTC, which is built on DTLS. Ports can shift around. I'm not sure how well it distributes in the wild, but right now QUIC has really shown itself as like the next big transport. I think they're saying like 75% of Meta's traffic. Google's saying 30 or 40% of their observed traffic. Um, as a total adoption, I was seeing something like only 8% of websites, but I don't think that's very telling. It's the big traffic contributors and consumers are switching to it.
yeah,
Yeah, great.
it makes a lot of sense. And yes, we're very familiar with having to implement WebRTC in one of many streaming kind of scenario, and it's not ideal. It's what works in the browser today, but hopefully, with MOQ coming out and what we're doing, we're going to be able to replace it for that use case anyway, because that's where it really makes a ton of sense. And then we can partner with our CDN friends, like Cloudflare and CashFly in particular, to really get this distribution working. Um, just you had mentioned this earlier, Paul, that it's a moving target. The spec is at the moment. What were the biggest, kind of in relation to that? What are the biggest technical hurdles that you've had? Because we're about ready to release our first version of MOQ, right? It's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
pending next week. I think today is November 26th, so like it's coming out.
Yeah, it's it's
We just
it's
want to
like
release it
pending.
for Thanksgiving.
I mean,
Yeah,
we tried to make Thanksgiving, but it just
yeah,
didn't work out. But we are so close. I mean, I can taste
yeah.
it. Um, I think we really just had to pick a draft of mock transport to go with, and at 14 was the current one at the time, a couple months ago, I think now. October, I want to say, beginning of October. So we picked that one, we went with that, and we found a lot of examples for doing published and subscribed that were either on Mock Lite, which is a slightly different and more constrained version of Mock, and Draft 10, I think, was another target that like Mocktail was using at the time for IBC and stuff like that, their demo, which I learned a lot from all of these demos and examples. But we went with 14, so the differences between 10 and 14 is, I don't know, something like 25 different messages. A lot of them just changed. Like
Very,
this,
very different.
yeah, yeah, and the setup messages, which are the very first messages you really kind of mess with, which were, I believe they were client session, server session instead of client setup, server setup, and they were different bytes. So you had to change from 4041 to 2021, just little things like that were easy, but just some of the other messaging and some of the parts of them changed as far as the byte array sequences and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, a lot of the low-lying stuff, as far as I could tell, was really kind of stable from between 10 and 14. I know 15 is out, and some people are moving to it, but it's got some fundamental changes that we would have to implement. So
Yeah.
we're not ready yet.
Yeah, I
Definitely,
hear you.
definitely a lot of wire changes in the control messages in the recent revs. I've heard 15 may not be your most ideal interop target. That some of those things are still in flux. But yeah, a lot of it was sort of vocab change for announce versus namespace publish
Mhm.
and things like that. But I think along the lines of challenges, the notion that MOQ is really trying to serve so many different masters, like from VOD to real time to all sorts of different types of video and non-video data too. They're not confining it to just that. So trying to boil the ocean a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you make a really good point, Giovanni. That I know our approach with this is to do what makes sense for the use cases that our customers have and get that out there quickly. And then we're controlling all the endpoints, which is nice because we've got the publisher. And then we also can support WebRTC and SRT and Zixi and every other protocol as ingest that you can think of, so that then that's compatible with an outgoing MOQ stream. And then we've got the player endpoint, which you had mentioned, Paul, all these other projects like Luke Curley's project is a really important one. And I think that's another thing that we probably should just hit on, is like how open the community has been. Like other developers who are out there. You mentioned Mocktail, Ali Begin's project. You've got the guys from Cloudflare, like Mike English. Everybody is just super helpful.
I've gotten a lot of benefit from the Meta Moxygen guys too. They've always been forthcoming with tools, both on the player side, the ingest side, and for the relay.
Yeah, Jordy's got a really great demo that helped me immensely getting the ins and outs actually flowing. So he's always answered me. So has Luke. Luke's been amazing on Discord and everything. So
it sort of reminds me of like Paul, right? Like just the Flash days, right?
Yeah.
When everything was kind of coming together and like collaborating. There was a lot of excitement around it.
Nobody's like too good to talk to you. Basically, they'll take a few minutes and chat with you, help you debug something, whatever. So it's really open.
That's exactly right. And, huge shout out to Will Law too, who's been kind of corralling all of these guys together in some respects too. It's like, and it's coming from huge companies, right? It's not like these are like little players. So I'm also impressed that somehow they've managed to get around that red tape of being able to be so open and talking about this stuff the way they have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they benefit from the little guy, if you want to put it that way, of making a fix or figuring out something that doesn't quite work the way it's spec'd out to be.
Clearly there's a benefit, but like the old school way of thinking would be, no, I'm going to keep all my IP to myself. And a lot of these kind of companies have had that mentality. Google maybe is an exception to that, right? They've always been very open source oriented.
I think with the goal being sort of a universal solution that can cross different vendor boundaries, that may be motivating people to work together more closely.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's just nice to see it because it does allow all these great developers to be able to collaborate in ways that wouldn't have been possible before. So,
yeah. There's some really talented people in the space.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's a mistake too when the people get into the WebRTC versus MOQ thing. It's probably not necessary to approach it that way. But I think it is telling that a lot of the people who have been huge in WebRTC are also looking at MOQ and contributing to it. And,
there's a few naysayers, of course, but that's always going to happen whenever you try to move the needle, right? So, so I'm just curious about like with our implementation, what are we rolling out first? I know this is it's not officially a beta, but it is a pretty limited functionality, right? We're not implementing the entire spec.
Yeah.
Paul, maybe you can talk a little bit about what we're rolling out to start, and then maybe we could discuss a little bit about where we think it's going and what else we want to add to it as we go.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we don't drop any of the messaging that can come across from a publisher subscriber implementation, but those messages may not actually do anything substantial. Because we're basically focusing on publisher namespaces and publishing and subscribers and subscriber namespace sort of situations, because we are looking towards the interop of, doing an SRT ingest and doing a mock subscribe to that stream, and everything just works. You don't have to mess with ICE or stun or any of that stuff. It just works in your browser or your mobile device. If they do WebTransport, or even raw mock, if they do mock T, and it just works. You don't have to have any H3 front end on it. So, I mean, that's basically where we're going. But I think it's also going to benefit us that we can provide the recorded versions of these for the CDNs. So like sort of an LLHLS kind of implementation. I know we're kind of going away from having that, but just because.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of made a big decision to like, let's just leave the LLHLS stuff alone because it doesn't really hit. I mean, it's this weird gray area of like latency, right? 2 to 3 seconds, 4 seconds. It's variable. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially a hack, right? To get it to work right. Yeah. And then mock just seems so much more elegant. And we've got all these CDN partners who are starting to roll it out. It just seemed like a much better decision to pick that direction.
Yeah, I think mock subscribing is going to take off. I don't think we're going to need it, but you do have the benefit of that packaging if that's what we want to do for output, as far as that side of the coin.
Well, I also think, this was something I was talking to Ali Began about pretty recently, is that, right now for our kind of DVR scrubbing or like feature, like where you go back in time, it's complicated, right? Because you got WebRTC player for the real time, and then you scrub back in time, we basically flip to an HLS player. We're writing the segments as they go. That's getting typically delivered to a CDN, and then we're pulling those from the CDN. And then when they snap back to real time, it's coming off of the Red5, cluster. It's like, I like the idea of just being able to use mock for that use case.
Yeah, we should be able to smooth it out with mock for sure, for people that want to support that DVR function in web.
Yeah. And you did make a good point that WebRTC is probably not going to go away. And it just like pointing, a good point of that is like this new True Time Meetings app. We're actually using this to record the session right now. I don't think we would want to tackle writing this in mock, at least not yet, right? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. There's all this stuff that we get with WebRTC, the noise suppression,
it depends on how much the guy wants to actually do that. I won't say his name, but
yeah. Well, how much pain do you want to take? Yeah, right? Yeah, but I mean, all the tools. I mean, this is really set up well. I mean, WebRTC was from the very roots were built for this, right? This is what it's for.
It's really evolved since 2012.
That's good.
At the same time, I was going to say Luke chose mock for his conferencing app, so he thought.
I did notice that, but I think that Luke is just so tired of WebRTC. He did it at Twitch and did it at Discord. He's just like and he has the advantage of all the time he wants to take on that right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I would be curious, like, what's the motivation just for the video conferencing part of it? I mean, we'll have to have him on as a guest and ask him that pointed question. Probably be a good one. But I think in general, like the consensus is, if you're doing web conferencing or video conferencing type stuff, that like probably WebRTC is your best choice, especially right now. But that said, with this True Time Meetings thing that we're doing now, the recording is actually it's a composite. It's using our mixer node. And if we wanted to, we probably should do this next time we do one of these, is like this could be streamed out over RTMP to Facebook Live and then YouTube Live and LinkedIn or whatever. And also to our people that want to watch it. I think we should take up the challenge of delivering this over mock to people that want to watch it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, and speaking of that, interoperability, we're talking about combining this with, we're just starting early stuff with CashFly right now. You've been testing with Cloudflare. Paul and those guys, and then also Luke Curley's project.
Yeah.
His what's the app that he's calling it? It's Hang.
Oh, it's Hang. Yeah.
Yeah. One of our goals is to make sure that Hang actually works with the Red5 relay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, how has it been to get that interoperability? Is it pain, or is it like?
Well, I have MOQ Lite being understood. I just have some Rust low-level issues. I think they're my problems on our side to sort out. And I think some of it also comes from we have the Rust layer, and then we have a Java layer on top of that, because our server is mostly Java and C++. So I just ran into some roadblocks, and Luke's been great to help me figure these out. But I'm stuck on one currently. I won't go into it here, but it's challenging.
All right, so Red5 working with Hang is probably coming out in the next point release. Right?
That's probably going to be after 1.0, yeah, for sure.
All right, awesome.
I think this is going to be with 15 or one of the 15 versions, maybe 16. I don't remember what we targeted for this to have the MOQ.
Red5 15.
Yeah. Yeah, Red5 Pro version. Not draft 15. Right.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. There's a problem with this stuff. Is versions are everywhere, right? And
yes.
Talking about. But yeah. So, I mean, I guess what do you guys think the future looks like? I mean, everybody's trying to predict when is the final spec going to be. When do you think people will be using this in production? I have my own opinions on this, but I'm curious what you guys think.
I think it would be just guessing, but the way WebRTC came on the scene, it was also sort of gradual and accelerated. So it begins with small efforts and small interops, and then grows from there. It seems to have a lot of momentum behind it right now, with people with real demonstratable solutions and working solutions on it. Whether it's a completely ratified RFC and accepted and used as a universal fabric, and that's probably much further out. But it seems there's working stuff now, right? So.
Yeah,
I think the push. I think it's going to be similar. But I think it may be a little faster because the CDNs are involved here, so they're going to get a lot more content out for subscription on that side versus the publish side. So they'll probably have stuff like us in front of it where you can do any kind of ingest, but then get the MOQ benefit out on the player side. I mean, that's the way I see it. Because I mean, WebRTC just took off because of Google Hangouts and then Meet, and then Philip's Appear In, I think was the name of the thing. We used to use it a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a great resource on WebRTC. I mean, obviously it works for Google now, so.
This seems like a big driver too. I think this news is out in public, but that Cisco plans to move their WebEx implementation to MOQ using Akamai servers. So that's, I saw that in Will's talk recently.
It makes a ton of sense for Cisco, right? They probably do not want to deal with the infrastructure, like for WebEx, because that just, we run it ourselves. WebRTC infrastructure at scale is kind of a pain. And it's not necessarily Cisco's core competency, but Akamai knows how to run huge scale CDNs. So if they can get that working together, it makes a ton of sense, right? My opinion on it is I think it's coming super fast. And maybe not the final spec, but this being used in the wild, I think we have a big difference with WebRTC. It was one thing, that was in the browsers, and the browsers would be constantly changing it, and then it would break stuff. In this case, we're using existing tool sets, right? That WebTransport, other stuff that's already separated in the browser and kind of, stable at this point, right? It's not like those things are changing quickly. So I think because of that, groups like us, like what we're doing, making sure that we have all the endpoints taken care of, we kind of adhere to a spec until we upgrade, and then we update everything together. once you have full end-to-end and the browsers aren't preventing anything, I think it's just going to go super fast.
I mean, closed ecosystem versus open ecosystem.
Yeah, at first, I think as the spec matures or gets finalized, then all of a sudden everybody's going to be compatible together, right? I think there's going to be this period where you get little fiefdoms working. That said, I mean, everybody has been really great with testing the versions that are out at the moment and kind of rolling and going with that, right? So I don't think it's going to be that bad. And I think, you know, I did see a lot of pessimism. I'm not going to call out the one guy who wrote a post about
he who shall not be named.
And it's like, okay, yeah, that's one way to look at it. I guess that's the glass half empty view of it, right? But anyway, I think the future is bright for MOQ, and I think I think we picked a good direction to go in with this one.
Yeah, I like it. I like what they're trying to do, and I felt the pain with WebRTC in the very early days, so I get it. This is easier to work with than what I ran into with Google breaking it every twice a week. So
I think that's an interesting observation too. Is it's not that WebRTC doesn't have solutions and stories for a lot of the things that MOQ does, but that the MOQ solutions are built in from the ground up. They're first-class requirements: the DVR scrub back and the splicing in ad material and SVC, spatial video, and server-side ABR. There's lots of things, and the people who are cooking it are the original designers of a lot of the historic streaming protocols, Dash and HLS. So it seems like the right cooks are cooking things there.
Yeah, and they're getting a lot of input from WebRTC developers like us, you know. So it's like it's coming together, and I think it's got a lot of potential. Well, great. Is there anything else we should say? I mean, just Red5's role in all of the kind of MOQ ecosystem. I'm like curious what you guys think of that.
Involvement in open MOQ seems like a powerful thing.
Yeah, we're going to be. I don't think it's been announced. Well, maybe we have. But
it just was.
But yeah, we're going to be charter members of that and that organization. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, my kind of view on it is I think we're going to be taking on a lot of that ingest compatibility because we do support so many protocols, everything from IP cameras over RTSP or drone streams and, you know, everything, SRT from broadcast or Zixi, and then being able to convert that into something which is MOQ compatible and can be distributed with the CDN partners. It just makes a ton of sense. And I do think that that's probably our easiest role to play, but I'm sure we can play many others.
Yeah, and just being a front end relay for, you know, Cisco's relay or Moxygen or whatever, just a relay that can take RTMP or SRT or Zixi. It's going to be valuable. I mean,
the first
do
mile
they
relay
really?
Or the last mile relay kind of thing.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate the work you guys are doing. You know, we've got Thanksgiving starting tomorrow, so I am thankful for all you guys and for the entire MOQ community. I mean, it's been really fantastic.
Likewise.
All right. So you guys have a great Turkey Day, and I'm looking forward to this thing coming out and getting comments from everybody and hearing what they have to say. This is the first of our little podcast things coming out. So thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.